and welcome to part two of this special AI Expert View series with myself, Michael Lonner, and Matt Workbissel and Toussif Safar. So in part one, we talked about the importance of getting your foundation set up when it comes to AI, and that is building your data platform, your data foundation. Now, in part two, what we're going to talk about here is setting the business case, really understanding why you should bother with AI, because everyone's talking about it, everyone's thinking, oh, I need it, but do you really? And if so, what do you need to do with it in the business? Where do you get value from it? And those sorts of things. So we're going to pose all those questions to our experts today, Matt and Toussif. So Matt, I'm going to start with yourself. So when it comes to AI, I mean, you can talk about technology if you want, but AI is technology, or the technology behind AI, even the primary consideration when it comes to AI?
No, it's not, but it is a big consideration because I think people have obviously heard the hype around the technology, and we have, ChatGPT to thank for that over the last 12 to 18 months. So there is always a technology lens that comes into things. And the challenge that I see with our customers is taking that sort of noise that has happened and going, well, how do I make sense out of this for my business? How is it really going to make life better? Why does a really great search always make a difference to how my business is going to perform? Because that's the thing that people are really using. ChatGPT, you can have great fun just searching for stuff and asking it lots of different questions and going down a rabbit hole. So if you take a step back from that and then go, well, what is it that I'm looking to actually achieve? And put yourself in the shoes of your employees. What are the tasks that they are trying to do, where the automation and the benefits of AI will start to bear fruit? And it might be, you might have a bunch of people in a call center and you're thinking, well, can I make it more efficient for them to be able to respond to customer queries? Can I have an agent take care of that and deal with some of those things? And so all of a sudden, I'm looking to change my operating model and the way that I react to my customer inquiries. It's looking at it with that sort of lens, because that's where the opportunity is. It forces you not only to think about how to do things more efficiently, but as I was just saying with the customer service example, actually gives you an opportunity to completely change your operating model in ways that you might not have considered before.
So, Toussif, given the adoption of AI primarily here, it is a cultural shift, isn't it? Organizations adopting is a cultural change for a lot of organizations, but a lot of people within those organizations. So are there some myths that are worth busting when it comes to people there thinking, oh, I've got to adopt AI, but I don't really know why or how. It's this thing that's going to blow my organization out of the water. I'm going to suddenly lose lots of people. I mean, what are the types of myths that we need to dispel here when it comes to AI?
I think there are a couple of things I would say. First, I would like to build on the point that Matt raised, is that this is not a technology project. In most, like any other transformation program, technology is just an enabler. And it's what you're trying to resolve. What is the biggest issue for you as an organization? And different organizations will have different issues. It depends on the industry that you operate in, depends on your processes, your operations, whatever and a lot of other things, right? So it's a bigger people project, change management project, in my opinion, than it is a technology project, because that's what people needs to, any technology is as good as its adoption, really. In terms of the myth, I think that's an interesting one. I get asked this question all the time, is that, what do you think? Would AI take away our jobs? Would AI will do this? And to be honest, in my opinion, I think this is not the first time we've been here. If you look at the last 20, 30 odd years, we've gone through the different big changes in technology. Internet was one of them. The PC was obviously before that, and so, and the cloud was another one. And with all of these changes, there was always been myths around it. I remember when the cloud took off initially, I remember even a discussion, within our customer and domain was, well, whether it's actually going to take off, and would our customer even allow us to have their data in a public domain, on a public cloud. And the reality is today, this is not even a discussion point anymore. Very similar with AI. I think there is a big myth that it will, people will be made redundant and there will be, have job losses and this and that. I don't think that's the case. I think one thing is absolutely guaranteed, that this technology, this revolution will impact every single individual, every single role, every single organization. That is absolutely given. Now, the only people who should be worried about their job is the one who are resisting this change. Be the early adopter, be right absolutely there and embrace this change. So AI will not really gonna get rid of you. In fact, it will make you more productive. I'll give you a real example. There is not a single organization that I know who does not have growth on their agenda, and there is not a single organization that I don't know where they have the cost reduction on their agenda as well. So how you can hit those 2 points, that's where AI comes in. The being able to get productivity increase without the cost increase. Simple formula, right? So I think the myth around that is going to get, lots of people will be made redundant, this, that, I don't think that's correct.
Do you think, Matt, that those are the types of sound bites that execs want to hear when you're selling a business case for AI into an organization? Or do you think it's more aligned to specific pain points that they're facing as an individual organization? Where do you think is there a balance to strike there?
I go back to when I started my working life, and we didn't have PCs. PCs came in afterwards. I was working.
Now you're showing your age, Matt.
Where we shared. We had one PC that was in the middle of the office, and we could share it. Mobile phones would come in, emails come in. None of those things existed when I started work. Now my work has changed, but I still have work, and it's been the same introduction of the internet, and as to see the same introduction of the cloud. So, we have seen a tremendous amount of change in the last 30, 35 years in the way that we do work. The fundamentals of how we do stuff, which is about business value, they haven't changed. The only reason for doing something is that it's beneficial, and you should never fight that.
Okay, yeah. How do you begin to make an effective assessment of what you need to do before you can begin to get value from an AI project?
Any technology project, like any other technology project, the strategic alignment of your AI project with business is crucial. If as a business, your biggest challenge, let's just say, is around the governance or the quality of what you produce, and the use case that you pick for AI is around, I don't know, personal productivity of individuals, or I don't know, or it's around sales, that you can see there is a misalignment. What happens generally is, and I think there are real stats out there, that the majority of a big chunk of AI projects will not deliver the expected outcome or ROI. And the reason for that is that the business use case that has been selected has not gone through that process of all the things that I touched on. This is not only what is valuable for organization, is it that there's a strategic alignment? Do you have the data and to support that process? Do you have the process maturity to even support that? The use case that you have chosen. So there are a lot of these things. So I think for me, the single critical element is the alignment of the use case or the AI use case that you pick with your business and business objectives.
You mentioned a lot of things there. Now, if I was looking at this from a senior person perspective, I would think, oh, crikey, how do I begin? How do I juggle these different things you've talked about? Do you think you need a dedicated team? If you want to get value and success when it comes to an AI project and get value from AI, do you need a dedicated team within your organization to oversee, manage, govern, all those sorts of things? Do you think that's critical for success?
It's a hard one, and like any other technology. I mean, if you're referring to, do you need a dedicated technology team to be able to deliver those use cases? My answer, to be honest, it's going to be no, because if you are a manufacturing organization, your strength is manufacturing. Your strength isn't the technology project. You are not a technology part. Why you're wasting your energy and attention there? In fact, the one thing that makes you special is what you do, creating stuff, producing things. However, I do think you, in every organization, you will have people who are those unicorns, who understand your business, who understand your challenges, and also have an appreciation of and have that vision to be able to use the technology that is available to resolve those issues. So, and those are the people who you need, and perhaps that's the team you're referring to. They are your trailblazers. They are those guys who want to lead your organization into this new era. And
Yeah.
Because one thing, from an implementation partner point of view, I always say we can spend another 20 years with you as an organization. We're never going to develop the same level of understanding of your data, your business processes, etc., that you would do as an organization. So yes, to a team that help your implementation partner to get the best out of your AI projects.
So the reason I mentioned team leads me on to the next question, in that I think, and you may have an opinion on it, when it comes to AI, because it's so, I'm not going to say that it's new, because elements of it have been around forever, but this sort of, almost this bit here, where we are today, has only been around for the last couple of years, and it's evolving a lot, and your teams and your understanding of it need to evolve, as far as I'm concerned, alongside it, for you to kind of stick with it. So my question to you is, when it comes to AI, is it set and forget, or is it iterate, evolve, and keep on using the tools and the changes to try to keep ahead of I suppose?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question, and the answer to that is that it should be seen as being a continuous cycle. You're looking to obviously enhance, optimize, create. It's a never-ending cycle that you're on, because your business is obviously evolving. The way that you're going to be doing work is evolving. The way that you want to use data is evolving. Your data sources, you're going to bring in newer that. You're going to do an acquisition that might bring in new sets of data. There's a constant evolution of your business, which you would hope is going to continue to grow. And therefore, the role that we as technology providers, and this is just picking up a little bit on what Taoufiq was saying, is I see is about enabling our customers to be in control of their own destiny and use us only when they need us, because these tools are able to be used by your citizen developers, your people within your organization that in the days of old would be really, really smart on using Excel, for example. Well, they're going to be really, really smart on using things like creating Copilot agents, because that's just the way that they're wired. To take advantage of those citizen developers within an organization that are close to the business as well, and let them be driving forwards. And then you only need people like ourselves when it's a really tricky problem to try and resolve.
And we're picking into some of those value points you highlight there, Matt. To see, what do you think? I mean, there's lots of ways to look at this, and we kind of touched on many bits of it, but what do you think a senior leader looking at this as an AI project that they want to implement, they want to try some things, or try some examples of AI in different data sources, or do some things, what constitutes success? What examples could constitute success? I know it depends on what the use case and the business case is, but what examples of would success look like?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the like any other transformation project, right? And the successful projects are the one where you have an outcome that you're working towards, right? And whether going back to what I said earlier, is that if as an organization your biggest issue is the cost, and you're looking to reduce the cost. So first, the selection of the business, let's say a use case that is aligned with that, and then how you measure the success over a period of time. You might want to start small, and then you continue to add more complexity to the use cases that you pick, etc. And that will allow you the time as well. The question that you asked earlier is that, would you want to prepare all your data before you start? Well, just enough to start with, and then continue. This is as just Matt rightly pointed out, this is not your BizApp type projects or ERP type projects. Once you're done, you're done for the next X amount of time. this is the pace of change in this technology and the possibilities are literally changing on a daily basis, and so this is going to be a continuous process. So therefore the criteria of success will probably evolve as a period of as the adoption evolves, as your infrastructure get mature to support those use cases, right? So having a clear definition of it, where you want to go, how you're going to get there, the route will be, probably would be a lot more, agile, and kind of you will be driving and defining as you go.
This leads me on to an interesting question for you, Matt. And so we talked before about systems like your ERP, CRM, and sometimes even ourselves, we get caught in thinking, we've mentioned before, don't do this. We get caught sometimes thinking AI is it's a singular thing, singular technology, singular project. It's not. Do you think actually the big value here with AI is its ability to enhance existing systems that you've got, your ERP system, your finance system, your supply chain system, your POS system, whatever the things are? Do you think that's where the real crux of the value is and the measure of success for an AI project, or was it elsewhere? But
no, I think that's what's really changed over the past few years. It's been the recognition and the ability of the tools that we've now got that allow us to manage data, which is really the engine of a lot of our businesses, and the processes that we're supporting, because that's effectively what we're doing. It's just that electronic flow of information going through the business service processes. The systems become almost irrelevant. Whereas in the past, you might say, well, in order to get the efficiencies, I've got to look at investing in a new ERP platform, for example. Do you need to do that these days? Well, not necessarily, because you've now got the opportunity to look at, I want to automate some processes. I want to make these integrations between these two standalone systems. I can make that happen. I can get that electronic flow of information much more efficiently through the use of AI tools and technologies. It really has been a game changer for how we look at businesses investing and optimizing their processes without having to spend 5 million, 20 million, whatever the sum of money is of a big application review.
Yeah, I agree. Now, everyone, as you can see, AI is a topic that is going to run and run. But that's all we have time for in part 2 of this mini-series. I'd like to thank again Matt and 2C for your time. And remember, everyone, when thinking about AI, any tech project for that matter, consider it's a cultural change, or the cultural change implications of that technology, because technology is just an enabler.